Here are the steps you really need to follow. Step number one, you need to know institutions that pull Experian. And the thing is that there is a constellation. There is a variety of institutions of lenders that pull Experian primarily. See, the whole thing is when we talk about pulling Experian, there is no institution that pull one credit bureau exclusively. Sometimes they change based on the state you're applying from, but in today's conversation, I'm giving you the list of institutions that pull Experian primarily. So you have Chase, you have American Express National Bank, you have Citibank, you have Wells Fargo, you have Bank of America, you have PNC, you have TD Bank, you have M&T Bank, you have USAA, you have SDCCU, that's a credit union. So you have San Diego Credit Union. I think it's Community Credit Union. No, San Diego County Credit Union, right? So you have American Heritage, you have Unify FCU, that's a credit union also. You have NASA, you have Genesis, you have First Tech, you have Andrews, you have Bethpage, you have Connecta. So those are credit unions. So you have from SDCCU all the way to Connecta. Those are credit unions. Then you have SoFi. SoFi is an online lender. SoFi actually stands for social finance. You have Payoff, that's another online lender. You have Lightstream, which is a division of Truist. Okay, so they pull Experian. And you have also Blue Vine. So here you have a constellation of institutions that pull Experian. So if you want to increase your Experian credit score, you want to first start with your institutions that pull that credit bureau. Obviously, I've given you like Blue Vine. Blue Vine, they don't do personal loans. They don't do personal credit cards. However, if you are a sole proprietorship and you want to get a line of credit, a business line of credit from Blue Vine, they can approve you if you have the right fundamentals. Okay. So step number one, boss, you got to know institutions that pull Experian. So if your primary goal and your only goal is to increase your Experian credit score, you want to focus only on those institutions. Because if you focus on other institutions, you're not working on your Experian credit score. You might be working on your TransUnion or on your Equifax credit score, but not on your Experian credit score. Step number two, you got to really check your Experian credit score, because you got to have a clear idea of where you're starting from, right? So let's say you want to increase your Experian credit score. My question to you is, increase from where to where? Are you increasing from 600 to 800? Are you increasing from 300 to 700? Because you got to have a starting point. So this is really important. The good thing is that you can actually check your Experian credit score for free. And don't let anybody razzle dazzle you, trying to confuse you, trying to scam the hell out of you and ask you to pay something to check your credit score. No, actually, you can get a free copy of your report at there is a website called annualcreditreport.com. And basically, Congress has mandated all those three credit bureaus to actually allow you to have a glimpse into your credit report and your credit score, for that matter, once a year. And you also have access to your credit report whenever you get denied a loan or credit card application or credit card. So you have a variety. I'm not wishing you to be denied all the time, but you do have chances to actually check what's in your Experian credit report. So those are really important. And one thing you need to pay attention to, and this is what we tell people all the time, even though your goal is to increase your Experian credit score, when you actually log into your annualcreditreport.com, just check all the three. Don't just check Experian, because you never know, right? You could probably have like your Experian credit score or your credit report. Your Experian credit report might be like blemish free, might be really clean, but you have the other two credit reports that are just dirty. They have a lot of derogatory items, so that could create a problem. So you want to have a holistic view, a holistic analysis of all three credit bureaus, but you want to have a predominant focus on your Experian credit report and score. So this is important. So you can do that. So you can actually have that once a year. But now, if you are interested in having, let's say, you want to have a glimpse into your credit report, your Experian credit report all year long, you can actually sign up for free FICO score providers such as Credit Karma, such as your bank. Yeah, a lot of banks. If you have Wells Fargo, for example, if you have PNC, Bank of America, if you have Citi, Chase, all those banks allow you to check your credit score for free. Anytime you have your bank statements, just look on the page at the bottom. You can see your credit score. Sometimes it's at the top, but usually it's on the side at the bottom. Okay, so check it for free. Okay, not a problem. And so you have Credit Karma, you have Nerd Wallet, you have Wallet Hub. So you have a variety of players that actually give you your credit score for free. Step number 3, you got to dispute derogatory items if necessary. By the way, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate having you here. We're having a conversation about how to increase your Experian credit score like crazy. Okay, the goal here is to really be on a path where not only you can increase the score once, but you keep on that positive trajectory in the long run. This is important. So if you are lucky, you don't have any adverse items on your Experian credit report, that's fine. But what if you had? Well, if you had, then you have to really identify first what the derogatory item is, right? So when we talk about derogatory item, you have 4 main derogatory, aka adverse marks on your Experian credit report or on other credit reports also. So you have missed payments, you have account charge-off, you have repossession, so repo, and then you have collections. And let me repeat that. So you have missed payments, you have account charge-off, you have repossessions, and you have collections. So for missed payments, if you are at least 30 days late, you want to expect a derogatory mark on your credit report, on your Experian credit report, or on all your other credit reports also. Now, the thing is that missed payments typically stay on your credit reports for 7.5 years from the date the account was first reported late. That's why we always tell people, tell everybody, never be late, never be late. Because the later the payment goes, moving to 60 days late, 90 days late, and so on, the greater the damage to your credit scores. So please pay your bills as soon as you can afford to. This is really important. If you have never or rarely been late before, you might be able to get the creditor to drop the late fee. Call the customer service number, explain your oversight, and ask if the fee can be removed. Okay, you can also write a goodwill letter. Okay, and if paying the bill is not an option for you, call your creditor and let them know about your financial situation to see if you can work out a hardship plan. There are always options. Okay, give yourself options. So you also have a repo, account charge-off. If you don't or cannot pay your debt as agreed, your lender may eventually charge the account off, and the charge-off will appear on your credit reports for 7 years. Okay. And if you have a repo, same thing, if you don't or cannot pay for an item such as a car as agreed, the lender can come in and they could just come and get it. Simply for collection. So if there are some derogatory items and you don't believe they are accurate, you can dispute them. Not a problem. And there are, for example, if you can also have student loan delinquency or default. That's another derogatory item here. Okay. By the way, I just want to remind everybody of today's conversation. The topic we are discussing here, how to increase your credit score like crazy. Okay. And your Experian, not just any kind of credit score, your Experian credit score like crazy. And the thing here is that if you have a student loan delinquency or default, this is kind of bad. It's because late student loan payments can start to hurt your credit after 30 days for private student loans and 90 days for federal student loans. And those delinquencies stay on your credit report for 7 years. Think about it. You're going to have those derogatory items on your Experian credit report for 7 years. That's a lot of years. Okay. That's why you always want to stay on top of whatever loans you have or whatever lines of credit that you have. And one thing I also want to say here is that the gravest, the most serious derogatory item is bankruptcy. Okay, because how long bankruptcy stays on your credit report depends on which type you file. There are 2 common types of personal bankruptcy. So at Chapter 7, bankruptcy will stay on your reports for 10 years. 10 years, boss. Chapter 13, bankruptcy sticks around for 7 years. And the thing is, when you have bankruptcy, there's nothing you can do to prevent it. It has already happened. So all you can do is just to begin to reestablish credit. Okay. If you want to improve your Experian credit score, you need to do everything to reestablish credit. That's all you can do anyway. Okay. And the same thing here. We have another derogatory items: foreclosure. If you fail to make payments on your home and the bank seizes it, the foreclosure will be reported to the credit bureaus and the mark will stay on your credit reports for 7 years. Okay, so the thing is, there's nothing again here you can do. Things happen. People go through stuff. Okay, if you have a coincidence of adverse events in your life, then yeah, it is what it is. Things happen. So all you can do again is just to rebuild your credit, to begin to reestablish credit. And once you are reestablishing credit, then you can actually rebuild your Experian credit score like crazy. And one thing I want to say here is that while you are doing all the work to make sure that you rebuild your Experian credit, make sure that you have a way to track your progress. You want to track your progress. So you gotta have a system, whether you log into your Credit Karma account or you log into your Nerd Wallet or your Wallet Hub. There are a lot of players. They're not just those are just a few players, but you gotta have a way to track your progress. Number 4, if you want to increase your Experian credit score like crazy, you got to pay your bills on time. I just spoke about that, but I feel like I need to go a little granular here. The reason is that, and I'm sure you have heard this advice before. This ain't the first time for sure, but it is so quite essential. You know why? Because your FICO score and your Experian credit score, for that matter, accounts for 35%. I mean, your payment history accounts for 35% of your Experian credit score. I mean, your FICO score in general. So think about it, 35%, that's more than 1/3 of your credit score. Okay. And we know that your credit score has 5 elements and only one element accounts for 1/3, more than 1/3. It must be a big number. It must be a big element, right? So this is why you want to pay your bills on time. And the thing is that you want to actually be in a situation where you are automating the reminders. Let me explain that. So you want to be in a situation where you avoid forgetting about bill payment, because listen, you can say, well, I'm good. I remember whatever. Something happens to you. Somebody died in the family. You got into an accident, or God forbid, or something happens, and it's very easy to forget. It's very easy. Believe me, been there, done that. This is why you want to automate things. This could be a reminder through an app, a smartphone app, or it can be an email, or you can have automatic transactions from your bank. So you can actually instruct your bank to actually pay a bill every month on a certain date. So, but you got to be in a situation where you automate things. Step number 5, you want to keep your credit utilization rate low. So there is a strong correlation between your Experian credit score and your CUR. So, and these two elements work in inverse. They have an inverse relationship. They have an inverse correlation. In other words, when your Experian credit score goes up, your credit utilization must go down. Let me just reverse that. When your credit utilization goes up, your Experian credit score goes down, and vice versa, because your credit utilization ratio is the criterion that impacts your Experian credit score, not the other way around. It's very important to specify that detail. Step number 6, you really want to keep your old account open. Okay, don't close your old accounts. And here I'm speaking about everything from lines of credit, student loans, personal loans. I mean, personal loans and student loans, those are closed anyway as soon as you pay them off. But I'm talking about the revolving lines of credit. So we are speaking about just a regular line of credit or your credit card. Do not close those. even if you're not using them. The thing is, you might be saying, well, this kind of bothers me. I don't want to, think about it. Those are not loans. As long as you don't tap into you don't actually tap into the line of credit, you don't have a loan. Okay, so this is important because it's like a credit card. If you have a credit card and you don't use the credit card, you don't have a debt. You don't have any debt to pay at the end of the month. The credit card can stay there for forever, for decades. And my advice to you, based on the 40 years of research you have done, is to keep it open for 40 years or until you die. As long as they're not charging you any fees. See, that's the thing. The impediment, the deal breaker here is if the credit card is charging you annual fees and you're not using the credit card. Because if that were the proposition, then you will be losing, because you basically will be giving free money to the bank, which doesn't need it in the first place. So, but other than that, yeah, keep all the accounts open. This will help you. Will help your credit utilization ratio go down, because all things held constant. If you have the same limits, if you have the same outstanding balance, but you have a larger limit, then your CUR goes down. And if your CUR goes down, then your Experian credit score will go up. So this is the simple calculus that I have here. And the thing here is that you have to understand, closing a credit card account can actually lower your credit score, as you will now have a lower maximum credit limit. If you are still carrying balances on other cards or loans, your utilization ratio will go up. So you are better off keeping the card with a zero balance, okay? And any bad debt that can impact your score negatively are automatically removed over time. So this is why it's important to actually keep them open. Okay, a low credit score, as you know, not only hurts your chances of getting approved for future loans and credit cards, but can also affect your interest rates. And we all know how interest rates are really important here. The thing you want to do if you want to increase your Experian credit score like crazy is to really take advantage of score boosting programs. The thing is that you have a lot of programs out there, a lot of services. I mean, some of them, they charge you. They're trying to make money anyway. But yeah, you know what? As long as they are adding value to you, it doesn't hurt to pay $10 a month or $7 a month or maybe $15 a month to actually use the services. Okay, so you have services like Experian Boost, you have Ultra FICO. Okay, for example, if you have Experian Boost, you can actually connect your online banking data and allow the credit bureau to add telecommunications and utility payments histories to your report. And Ultra FICO allows you to give permission for your banking data, like checking and savings accounts, to be considered alongside your report when calculating your score. You can see that those players, they're trying to actually generate revenue, but by actually including on your Experian credit report data that traditionally was not in there. But you know what? In our analysis, this is a win-win situation for everybody, because, hey, listen, you are benefiting because your Experian credit score is going up, and the bank or the credit score monitoring service is making money because they're actually charging you, because those services ain't free. They're not free. So you're paying something to actually benefit from those things. So this is kind of cool. And step number 8, you want to only apply for credit that you need. Remember that every time you apply for a new line of credit, a hard inquiry is pulled on your report, right? So this type of inquiry basically will lower your score temporarily. Sometimes it's 5 points, sometimes 10. So it's something you have to do very, I would say, sparingly. I got the word right. So be very sparing when applying for this kind of credit, okay? And so applying just to see if you get approved or because you received a pre-qual offer of credit is not a good idea. If it's a single hard credit pull, the drop will be slight. However, a string of hard inquiries could signal to lenders that you are taking on too much debt and you don't want to be in that situation anyway, okay? So, and this could affect your chances of being approved for much larger loans, for example, mortgages or auto loans. So be very careful here. Step number 9, if you want to increase your Experian credit score like crazy, and this is not really a step, but for us it's very important, because as we analyze those steps, as we analyze the processes, we see that it is quintessential. Be patient. And I don't care what people tell you on YouTube, or people write very, very clickbaity titles. How to increase your credit score by 230 days. How to increase your credit score by 1,000 points in 5 days. Whatever. Don't believe none of those. Those are good to generate clicks, to generate some ad revenue. That's it. They're lying to your ass. They're lying to your face. You're not going to increase your Experian credit score overnight. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened before. It will never happen. And I'm speaking to you on the shoulders. I'm sitting on the shoulders of our team members who have been in this game advising clients for more than 40 years. So I'm not just sitting here just making up numbers and giving you and talking all kinds of nonsense to you. You're not going to increase your credit score overnight. Your Experian credit score, your TransUnion credit score, your Equifax credit score, you're not going to do it overnight. The best way to achieve an excellent score is to develop good long-term credit habits. Okay, this is important. And then the final step here is you want to monitor your Experian credit. So when you view your own credit, a soft inquiry is pulled, which does not affect your credit the way hard inquiries do. So monitoring your scores fluctuations every few months can help you understand how well you are managing your credit and whether you should make any changes. But for us, people are saying you want to monitor your credit every few months. We say you want to monitor it every 2 weeks, every month. The reason is that it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't take too much time. I mean, you're talking about 5 minutes. Are you so busy you can't really you can't even spare 5 minutes to check your credit score to see if there's anything going on there? So don't check your credit every 6 months, because God forbid, if there is an item, if there's a derogatory item, okay, if there is some elements of identity theft, the more frequent you review your credit score or credit report, the more likely you are to catch whatever fishy things there are on your credit report. So regularity is key here. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Let me just quickly recap our conversation. So I was just speaking to you about how to increase your Experian credit score like crazy. Number 1, no institutions that pull Experian. Number 2, you want to check your Experian credit score. 3, you want to dispute derogatory items if necessary. Number 4, you want to pay your bills on time. Number 5, you want to keep credit utilization ratio low. Number 6, you want to leave old accounts open. Number 7, take advantage of score boosting programs. Number 8, you want to only apply for credit you need. Number 9, be patient. And number 10, you want to monitor your credit. Thank you so much. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.